What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I was in my local Dollar Tree store here in Buffalo, New York recently, and I noticed they had restocked a bunch of the new Hot Wheels. So they had pretty much a full 2024 e-case hanging on the pegs. So there were a few cars missing. Someone had obviously been through it, but most of it was still there. So I was able to go through and pick out some models that I've been looking to add to my collection. So I'm very excited to showcase these for you today. Like I said, all of this is from that same e-case, 2024 models, and there's only one of them that's actually a repeat of a previous casting that I already had in my collection. So we're going to walk through these one by one and talk about each of them. So the first one up is this Cadillac Hypercar, and looks really cool, very interesting racing model, and you can see there's a lot of airflow kind of going on through like the back end of this. So very, very cool silhouette on this. It's almost borderline Batmobile-like in terms of the overall look of it. I really like that black look to this, and looks really great with these gold rims. So really awesome looking car. Very excited to have it. And as you can see, this is brand new for 2024. So very excited to add this to my collection. Another brand new one for 2024 is this Flippin Fast. And this one actually has sort of two sides to it. So the top side is this side, but then when you flip it over to the bottom, it's almost like it has two top sides, like a different race car on the bottom of it. So, and this ball in the middle sort of resembles like the helmet of a driver, race car driver. So really cool looking model, and it has a special feature. If you hold on to this plastic part in the middle, you can actually spin it around kind of like a fidget spinner. So they demonstrate that here on the back. They show the special feature, and as you notice here, each of these cards is marked with the E, indicating which case they came from. So really cool looking model. Definitely be interested to get this out of the package and see how well that spinning feature actually works. So very cool. Next up, we got this Fiat, and this is the regular release. There is a Super Treasure Hunt version of this that's done in like a Spectra Flame Gold. So this is just the regular version, but still looks really great just in terms of the racing deco on this. And I believe this casting was often appearing in premium, so it is actually kind of nice to have just a regular release version of this. Really nice looking casting. Very excited to have this in my collection, even though it's not the Super Treasure Hunt, but still looks very cool. Next up, we got this Shelby Cobra Daytona Coupe. Now this is a somewhat older casting. I believe it says 2006 on the base, something like that. So yeah, quite a bit older, but really looks good though, just in terms of the overall look of it. And it has that Gulf livery on it. So really nice looking model. Definitely one that I did not have in my collection. And it's always cool to have extra race cars. Next up, we got this Corvette Stingray. And I was a little hesitant to buy this particular model just because it has a plastic body and metal base, which is not particularly desirable. I know in the past, this model actually was all metal. Why they switched it to this particular configuration, I'm not too sure. But I decided to pick it up anyway. I just think it looks kind of boring with just that red plastic. I don't mind the overall deco on it. I just think it seems pretty obvious that it is plastic. So I kind of wish they had done something a little different with the choice of plastic that they used on this. I know there's one that's done where the top part is actually done in chrome. I'd love to get that at some point. And this may be a candidate to actually experiment with. You know, I might decide to, take this out, take it apart, and actually repaint the body in something a little bit more exciting. So that may be a project for down the line at some point. But I love Corvettes, and overall the casting is not bad. I'm just not crazy about the fact that it's plastic on the top. Okay, so next up we got this Land Rover Series 2. And this model was introduced, I believe, last year. So I think this may be the second or third version of it. And looks really cool. It's got surfboard there on the top. And that looks awesome. And this model does have quite a bit of metal on it, too. So the body itself is metal. and also this base part is actually metal as well. So very cool. And, you know, it doesn't have a window portion unless you count this sort of black part that's attached to the spare tire detail. But overall, it looks really cool, and very excited to have a version of this in my collection. So not too bad. Next up, we got this 1973 Honda Civic Custom. And I'd seen several releases of this previously, and none of them really popped out at me. But I really like the look of this yellow version. I think they kind of nailed it in terms of the color choice and also the deco on it. So looks really awesome, and it is a very good casting. Really excellent, and very excited to finally add this particular model to my collection. Next up, we got this 1989 Mercedes-Benz, and there've been, I believe, 2 other versions of this released. I believe this is was a new model for last year, and I believe there's a black version and maybe a silver version. So this is the newest version, all red, and still has like all of that cool detailing on the back, and also some detailing on the front. So, and the overall silhouette of this is pretty cool too, because there's a little bit of a subtle detail in the flare of the fenders going outward on that. So overall, the casting just looks really good, and very excited to finally add this one to my collection. I hadn't seen any of the previous versions. For some reason, I missed out on getting them. I think it's a particularly popular model, so they had a tendency to disappear off the pegs. Next up is the Ice Charger, and this one is from Fate of the Furious. This is part of the Fast and Furious series, and overall the casting on this looks really awesome. Done in sort of almost like a satin kind of gray color, and I really like the detail in the casting back here. So that back part looks really interesting, and just some really nice details on this. It almost looks like in here there's like bullet hole details or something on the one side. So I haven't seen this movie, but I'll tell you, the car looks great. And I don't pick up all these Fast and Furious models, but when I see them in the main line and they seem affordable, it's worthwhile to pick them up, just because most of these models are pretty cool looking. Speaking of cool looking, we've got the Goldfinger car from James Bond, and this is the Aston Martin 1963. So this is James Bond's car, and it looks really amazing. They got all the tail end details. You can see the license plate back there, and just looks very, very classy. And I remember in the movie, it has all kinds of hidden weapons and features, hidden inside the vehicle. So, but overall, casting looks really awesome, and very happy to finally add this particular one to my collection. So last but not least, we got the Pagani Zonda, and this is the one that's a repeat of a previous casting that I already had in my collection. And I can show you that side by side. I have it right here. So this is the previous version, which I was very happy with, but then I saw this version, and it looks just amazing with this sort of luminous maroon paint job. And I got to tell you, Hot Wheels has really hooked me in with this particular paint scheme, because this is now, I think, the 3rd vehicle that I have with this kind of paint. So in a previous video, I showed you the limited grip. Also has that kind of luminous maroon color as well. So it's not Spectre Flame, but I got to tell you, it really shines in such a way that it seems different from the other kinds of paints that they actually use for their cars. And this also is featured similarly on the Mustache. I believe it is either the same color or a similar color. So yeah, it definitely looks great. And I got to tell you, if Hot Wheels did more of their cars with these sort of luminous paints like this, I have a feeling they'd sell even more cars, just because this just looks amazing. And with the addition of those gold wheels to kind of complement the maroon color, I just think it looks really fantastic. So very excited to have this in my collection. That's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more reviews of Hot Wheels cars in the future, think about subscribing to my channel, because I will be covering more of this kind of stuff in future videos. Until next time, I hope you're having a great day, and thanks for watching.